what's one of the most efficient organisms in terms of feed to mass ratio is actually insects. So this comes back to it. Like a lot of people are pushing now to farm insects for human consumption. So you have to feed them just minimal amounts of food. They can eat food that a cow or a pig couldn't eat. So parts of a plant that they couldn't digest. Yeah. And then...
But now you're trying to convince like the average American to start eating insects.
That's just it. That's just it. And that's the real uphill battle because we know how to farm insects. We have the technology. We have all that instituted already. It really becomes like, okay, how do you convince the average American to eat whole insects? And usually what it comes down to is like, well, it'll take a long time. Yeah. I've done my own fair share of presentations to like elementary schools.
For kids, I was going to say for kids, like, how do you market to kids?
Oh, you'd be surprised. When I was in high school, I gave a presentation to my school, and this was like K through 6. And I think I did a second presentation that was 7 through 12. So anyway, I gave this presentation to the whole gamut, the whole age range, K through 12. The ones who were the most eager to eat the example insects that I had bought for this occasion were the little kids. They didn't mind at all. It was the older kid. By the time we got to 5th or 6th grade, it was the older kids who had problems with it. And I think it's because...
What did you have for them?
Oh, I had... what did I buy? You can buy edible insects online. So I think I had some mealworms maybe and some flavored bugs. Maybe I had some beetles. I don't remember. And crickets. Usually crickets are the go-to.
Did you prepare them in any way, or did you just raw out of the bag, or did you fry them?
What the company does that had sold them is they'll cook them beforehand. You always cook them beforehand.
Okay. How do they cook them?
Either fry them up, or I don't know if you can boil them, but usually they fry them up, and they'll fry them up with spices. Okay. So they're not plain. You know, they're like any other food. You get them spiced up, and then they would put those in a bag that you could buy. And so that's what I was doing. I had them from a bag, and they'd already been pre-cooked and pre-flavored and all that sort of stuff. Handing them out to the kids to try. And so, it was the little kids who were totally down to do it. And it was the older kids. It was you get to middle school. Yeah. And they were the ones who were having reservations about it, about like, oh, I don't know if I should. And I think it's just our culture and the way that we tell our kids, oh no, bugs are gross. Don't eat the bug. Yeah. Don't do that. And it's just... other cultures don't have problems with that because they eat bugs on a regular basis. Right. But here in America, bugs are gross. Bugs are pests. Don't touch the bug. Don't be near the bug. And so already at that point, they were like, no, I don't want to eat the bugs. But the little kids were totally down for it. So you'd be surprised. I mean, in terms of who's willing to eat a bug and who's, not willing to eat a bug. But in order to shift it sort of on a cultural level, that's going to take a long time. For sure. And a lot of convincing. And, you probably aren't going to start with a whole bug. Yeah, because that's a lot to be like, I'm eating the whole animal. That's a lot to process. So what a lot of people do these days is just to like grind up the insect into like insect flour. So you'll have like cricket flour is the most common one. Okay, you'll grow crickets and then grind them up into flour, and then you can basically hide them in other foods, right? I mean, you can make cookies that are using cricket flour. And it doesn't even look like you're eating crickets.
That would be a hit. The next Christmas party you go to.
Yeah, let's go. No, anyway. But you'd be surprised, actually. I made some, this has been a while ago now, but chocolate chip cookies with, it was like half normal flour and half cricket flour. And they're actually really tasty because the crickets add sort of a nutty, savory, kind of warm flavor to the cookie. So it's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good.
Did you share it with anybody else?
Yeah. If I remember this, the reason I made the cookies.
Do you pretend?
Oh, no. Absolutely. Be like, because the other part is like, sometimes insects can trigger people's shellfish allergies. Oh, okay. Because if you're allergic to shrimp, sometimes it's the exoskeleton that does it. Sometimes it's the meat. But sometimes the insects can cause, in rare cases, it can cause allergic reactions. So you always want to be upfront about like these ones have cricket flour in them. But yeah, the reason I made those cookies was for, again, I was in high school. I gave a presentation to some elementary schoolers, and yeah, they loved the cookies.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, hey, this is the place to do it. Boulder, Colorado, trying out new healthy foods.
I know. I know. Again, convincing Americans to eat whole insects is going to be just too much, especially like right away. So that really is the first place to go. It's just like, nope, you don't even have to, see the cricket. It's just ground up and it, a brownie that's recognizable, or a cookie. You know that. So
yeah.